For the best listening practice, please turn on auto-translate in your subtitle settings. It helps you understand the story while improving your English naturally.
My name is Henry Collins. I am 67 years old. I live in a small village near the sea. The village is quiet with narrow streets and old houses. I worked as a postman for 40 years. Now I am retired. My wife Mary died 5 years ago. Since then, I live alone. Every morning I make tea and sit by the window. I watch the sun rise over the sea. The sound of the waves makes me calm. Sometimes I see children running to school. They laugh, they shout, they wave their hands. I smile and wave back. They do not know me, but I know them all. I used to deliver letters to their parents. Life is slow here. I do not talk much to people now. My neighbors are kind, but they are busy. I read the newspaper, I feed the birds, and I take long walks near the shore. In the evening, I sit alone in my small living room. I listen to the radio. Sometimes I talk to Mary's picture. I tell her about my day. I tell her that I miss her. One rainy afternoon, I was cleaning my old desk. It was full of dust and old papers. In one drawer, I found a small wooden box. I opened it slowly. Inside were old letters and postcards. They were yellow and soft from age. I smiled. They were letters I had received many years ago from people I once delivered letters to. I was surprised. I did not remember keeping them. Some letters said, "Thank you, Mr. Collins." Some said, "You always made us smile." I read each one carefully. Every word felt warm. Then at the bottom of the box, I saw one letter that I had never opened. It had no name on it, only my address. The paper was thin and the ink was light brown. I opened it gently. It said, "Dear Mr. Collins, I do not know if you remember me. My name is Lily. You used to bring letters to my house when I was a little girl. You always smiled and said, 'Be good and help your mother.' I never forgot those words. My mother died when I was 12. Your kind words helped me stay strong. Now I am grown up and have a daughter of my own. I just wanted to say thank you. You were part of my childhood. With love, Lily." I held the letter for a long time. My eyes filled with tears. I never knew I had touched someone's life like that. I thought I was just doing my job, carrying letters from one house to another. But maybe kindness is also something we carry without knowing. That night, I could not sleep. I kept thinking about the letter. I remembered a small girl with curly hair and bright eyes who always waited for me by the gate. She used to say, "Postman, do you have a letter for me today?" I always said, "Not today, little one, but maybe tomorrow." She would smile and wave goodbye. That must have been Lily. The next morning, I decided to find her. I went to the post office in town. A young man worked there now. He did not know me at first, but when I told him my name, he said, "Oh yes, my father remembers you. You were the kind postman who never forgot anyone's name." I laughed and said, "Well, that was my job." I asked if he knew a woman named Lily who once lived on Hill Street. He thought for a moment and said, "Yes, I think she runs a flower shop near the train station now." My heart started to beat fast. I thanked him and walked slowly to the station. The shop was small but full of colors. Roses, lilies, sunflowers, and tulips filled the room. The air smelled sweet. A woman stood behind the counter, arranging flowers in a vase. Her hair was tied back and there was kindness in her face. I said softly, "Excuse me, are you Lily?" She looked up. Her eyes widened. "Yes, I am. How can I help you?" she asked. I smiled and said, "You may not remember me. My name is Henry Collins. I used to bring letters to your house when you were a little girl." She stared at me for a moment. Then her face changed. Tears came to her eyes. She said, "Mr. Collins, I can't believe it. I wrote you a letter many years ago, but I never knew if you received it." I said, "I got it, Lily. I found it yesterday." She covered her mouth and cried softly. Then she hugged me. She said, "You were always so kind. My mother used to say, 'That postman brings sunshine with the letters.'" We both laughed. She made tea for me and we sat among the flowers. We talked for hours about the past, about her mother, about life. Her daughter Emma came in after school. She was about 10 years old, with the same bright eyes Lily once had. Lily said, "Emma, this is Mr. Collins. He was the postman who used to bring letters to Grandma." Emma smiled shyly and said, "Hello, Grandpa Henry." We all laughed. I did not correct her. I liked the sound of it. From that day, I visited Lily's shop every week. Sometimes I helped her arrange flowers. Sometimes I just sat and talked. People in the village started to see me again. They said, "Mr. Collins looks happy these days." And it was true. For the first time in years, I felt alive again. One afternoon, Lily said, "Mr. Collins, I have something for you." She gave me a small white envelope. I opened it carefully. Inside was a card that said, "Thank you for delivering letters, but most of all, thank you for delivering kindness." I could not speak. My eyes filled with tears again. I said, "You brought color back into my life." Days turned into months. Lily's flower shop became like my second home. On my birthday, they surprised me with a small party. There was cake, candles, and a card that said, "Happy birthday, Grandpa Henry." I laughed and cried at the same time. Emma gave me a handmade flower and said, "You are family." One winter evening, I fell sick. I caught a bad cold. Lily took me to the doctor and gave me medicine. She said, "You must take care of yourself. We need you." Her words made my heart warm. I thought I lost one family, but I found another. One day I walked with Lily near the sea. The wind was cold, but the sky was clear. I said, "Do you know, Lily, I used to walk here every morning after Mary died. I thought I would spend the rest of my life alone." She said softly, "Sometimes life takes things away, but then it gives something back. Maybe not the same, but something good." I smiled and said, "Yes, something good." Years passed. Emma grew up and went to college. I became slower and weaker. But I was never lonely again. Every Sunday, Lily brought me flowers. She said, Mr. Collins, you always brought letters of hope. Now it is my turn to bring flowers of love. When I look back at my life, I think of all the doors I knocked on as a postman. Some people waited for news, some waited for money, and some waited for love. Maybe we all wait for something. I waited too for kindness to return. And it did. Now I know one kind word, one smile, one letter can change someone's world. If you ever get a letter from the past, open it. Maybe it carries a memory that still waits for you. So tell me, what would you do if you found a letter like Henry did? Would you try to find the person who wrote it? If you liked this story, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you in the next story.